Hello YouTube, welcome. My name is Mina Irfan and today we're talking about human design projector magic. Don't worry if you're not a projector because we will also be covering a lot on inner work and how to decondition yourself regardless of what human design type you are. So welcome in and let me know where you're watching from in the live chat or in the comments afterwards. And let me know also what your type is because I would love to know what my community is mainly made of. So I do know I have a lot of projectors and of course a lot of generators just because there's just a lot more of generators. So what we're going to start talking about is that first let me define what does human design mean when it talks about deconditioning. So deconditioning is the return to your clean, pure, authentic state that was intended by the divine. It was intended by your soul. So it's the same word, it's the same definition of how I use the word inner work. So when you decondition yourself, it means you have done your inner work. And this is how my work and the human design framework really marry together, really work. So according to human design, when people come to human design and learn their design and their type and their strategy and their authority, it takes them about 7 years to decondition themselves from everything that their parents, their ancestral trauma, their conditioning, society, religion, culture has programmed in them. So there's a process that human design lays out, and I see a lot of victimhood around this process in the human design communities, and I'm here to tell you that that is one way to decondition yourself. It is absolutely not the only way. So I am a human design projector, and my strategy is wait for the invitation, and my authority is emotional. I am also a motorized projector for those of you guys that know what that means, and I'm a 4/6 projector. That's my profile. So I'm sharing this with you because it wasn't until recently that I find this out about you. But as far as deconditioning and living in alignment, one of the things that I was shocked to learn as I discovered human design is that I have been living in complete probably about 98% alignment up until the point that I found human design, and that 2% was what human design filled in the gap and also gave me confirmation that I was on the right path. How did I do this without knowing human design or knowing how human design tells me to decondition? Through doing my inner work. So it's the same thing. It's about learning what is not mine. What's the stuff that my parents ended up projecting onto me or programming me with, what's the culture, society, what's my own inner wounds, past relationships, all of that stuff. What's that and who am I? So it's the same thing, right? So who are projectors? Projectors are, I'm going to talk about the kind of the framework of projectors, and I'm going to be doing this for every type, but this is an important video to start with because it tells you how to decondition yourself regardless if you are a projector or not. How you decondition yourself, we'll talk about after this. Projectors are the newest auric soul types, and so they're sent as guides to clean up the world's energy. They were designed with the goal of coming to the planet and helping guide and direct the energy of the planet. Because they were given this immense power and strong energy and aura to be able to guide people, they were also given this weakness, you can say, and I don't consider it really a weakness per se, but it was, I want you to look at it as all the other types had already been designed, and there had been some previous abuse with the energy types. For example, manifestors traditionally in the way back when have gotten used to employing sometimes not so nicely, you can say enslaving generators and using the generator energy to get their own manifestations in order. So if there is a king or a pharaoh or something, and he's a manifestor and he's got this idea, he doesn't necessarily have the energy, right? He doesn't have a defined sacral, and he may enslave a whole bunch of generators to do all of his dirty work, all of the energetic work for him. So because there has been this abuse of power, the projector type, who is so powerful, was given this one sort of weakness to make sure that there was this checks and balances system, so that the projectors didn't all of a sudden come into this huge energetic like personal benefit and didn't end up using it for the wrong, right? And this is, what am I considering a weakness, which I don't necessarily think of it as a weakness once you realize and know how to use this. Is actually a gift, but I can see why a lot of projectors are seeing it as a weakness. They need to be recognized by a certain group of people and be invited into the directing of energy. So what happens is, because the soul type, the auric type, intuitively knows that it can see things, it can zoom out and see things and guide the energy of generators and manifesting generators and even manifestors, that it does that since they're babies, right? Like projectors often are huge advice givers, right? Where they can almost be perceived as controlling, as giving unsolicited advice, and a lot of other energy types can feel very intimidated in the projector aura. So I know that I used to do this when I wasn't living in alignment, is that I would give unsolicited advice to people, because to me, it was almost like, but I must, like, they're doing this incorrectly and I can see it. I'm zoomed out, I can see it. And I just intuitively know how they can fix this better, or how they can use their energy better. But that person hasn't invited me, and it's very intimidating to be getting this sort of advice without that invitation. So I want you to think of this waiting for invitation as a gift. A lot of projectors, in fact, human design says that the most shattering experience that any type has when they come to human design is projectors. Projectors are the most misunderstood of all of the human design types. They often spend their entire lives feeling very unseen, very after the age of 35, they can get really burnt out. They can go into depression if they're living out of alignment. And they just have this feeling of being misunderstood, and unseen is the word that really keeps coming up. When they're living out of alignment, they end up being deeply sad because they don't understand why they're not being seen. And this is one of those things that they're not going to be seen by everyone. You need to understand as a projector that you are not for everyone, and it is your tribe that you're after. I'll talk about how I accidentally fell into alignment in the next section, okay? So projector types are sent as guides to clean up the world's energy. They have this innate ability, even as babies. I'm a projector, and I'm raising a projector too. My middle son is a projector. When he was 1 hour old in the hospital, the nurses were like, here's little Buddha, here's your little Buddha. And every time they would bring him to me for me to nurse him, they would say, bringing little Buddha to mommy. They just innately, like, people started calling him little Buddha. And he's just got this really powerful, silent, but really potent energy. In fact, he's now going into 5th grade. In preschool, kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, we had all 5 different teachers tell us the same thing. They would invite us into a meeting and say, we have a little bit of a dilemma. Parents keep coming in for all various students insisting that their child should be sitting next to Ayan. So this is all 5 grades, and the teachers would all have a dilemma that the way the classroom is set up, I don't know how to make it so that every single child is sitting next to Ayan. Everyone wants to be his friend. Everyone wants to be near him. People bring him presents, give him their school, pride bucks. Like, he's just got this way, and he doesn't talk a lot. He's just very silent. But when he talks, you listen. In fact, he's 10 years old, one of my greatest advisors on how I can parent better. I don't ask my other 2 children. I ask him what is going on. If anytime there is a misunderstanding, if there's ever been like a misunderstanding before I was in alignment with the way that I parent between my oldest son and I would go and sit with him and talk it out with him, and he would tell me where I was wrong and where I was misinterpreting stuff and where I could do things better. And he at this time was like 6, 7, 8 years old. So projectors innately have this ability, but if they're not recognized and seen for their gifts and they're not invited into the work, they're really rejected. They spend their life feeling really, really rejected. I actually have a story when I was living in South Carolina. I had these two new friends. They were newish friends that were introduced through some other friends. They came over to my house for lunch, and they were asking me for advice for various things, like, Mina, how do you do your laundry? And Mina, how do you do this? And Mina, how do you do that? And I was giving them advice. I was telling them how I do my laundry and this and this. And then it wasn't about an hour into this that I realized they were actually making fun of me. And I was so humiliated, and I felt so like just stupid and like rejected in that moment. And so I wrapped up the lunch, and like I just like had to sit with myself that what just happened here. Like I just fell into this weird trap of giving these people energy, like my energy and my advice, and it appeared like they were inviting me. That is not an invitation, right? And also, not every invitation needs to be accepted by you. Right? I have a pretty large platform here on YouTube. I get invitations every single day. Mina, you should coach me for free. Mina, how you should do this? Mina, you should do this for me, answer this question, right? I do not accept all of those invitations because it's not the best use of my energy. The most precious resource that the projector embodies and has is their energy. Because the projector does not have a defined sacral, we do not have the same ability to sustain energy the way other people do. So this is a really important thing for you to know. What someone else can do in 12 hours of work, the projector can accomplish in 1 hour, but it needs to be something that's like they're invited into, they're recognized for. So it's not like, think about it, if I took every invitation that I get via email to coach people for free, believe it or not, I used to do this back in the day. I used to stay up until 3 a.m. coaching people for free via email, and it used to burn me out. So when you're not living in alignment with your design, most projectors tend to burn out by the age of 35. Rare, weird autoimmune type things are very common in the projector world, where the doctors are really, really confused what the hell you have, but you have fatigue and autoimmune issues, and no one can diagnose you. Here's the funny thing, not so funny now. I mean, funny now, wasn't funny at the time. I managed to get there by 30 instead of 35 because I was so in my hustle mode, so in my masculine energy, so in my I've got to do it all myself. If no one's there to support me, I have to do, or no one sees me, no one recognized me. Like it was just innately this feeling of being unseen. I burned out by the age 30. My husband was sent as a guardian angel by God to allow me to not have a job or a business for the first time in my life. And he allowed me to be a stay-at-home mom, which basically saved my life. So my husband ended up being my huge guardian angel. If he didn't enter my life at the age of 28 and allowed me to become a stay-at-home mom, I did end up getting an autoimmune disease. You guys know this. I've cured it since then, but I probably would have ended up much, much worse if it wasn't for him allowing this transition period. So one more thing that I want you to know. Just because someone's inviting you doesn't mean you have to accept the invitation, and be really, really intunely aware if and when, oops, what just happened here? My lighting went off. I apologize, give me 1 second. Okay. Oopsie, sorry about that. Be really, really intunely aware to if the invitation was withdrawn. I have also had this happen. The projector aura is very intimidating for most types. Even when there is a clear invitation, let's say that I have a coaching client and there's obviously a clear invitation, they've invested in themselves, there's been an energetic exchange called money, they're in my portal. I have learned the hard way that not all clients want to hear the truth. They're not ready for it. And so I would say 98% of my clients, probably even 99, are like used to my style. They know that I'm very honest. They know that when I guide their energy and help them, they can have huge shifts. But I have encountered some people that are not used to being told the truth. They want someone that's just gonna BS them and give them the like the easy stuff, and I'm here to really open up this portal. And I have had to really get in tune with that energy of the invitation has been withdrawn, and I no longer will allow myself to put energy into this. So, and that is okay. You let people go and let them find their own projector. Every single person on this planet, if you want to do your life better, if you want someone that's going to really help guide your energy and set this planet right, then every single person should have their own private projector. This could be a coach, a mentor, a spouse, a friend that is a projector that you trust and you recognize, and they will help you on this journey. Most projectors, just in alignment, end up taking healing role. They end up being therapists and coaches and mentors and energy workers and shamans and light workers and priestesses. When they're in alignment, these are the roles that they end up choosing, because the projector has not been designed for the 9-to-5 corporate world. We're just not designed for that. I learned this at about 21. I had a corporate job for many years before this, and it was just the most soul-sucking experience of my life, and I knew that I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. There was a point in my life, I remember, when I was like, I would rather die than have to work this job. So we're just not designed to work in that way. Let me see. Okay, so now let me talk about what happens when you're not living in alignment, and I'll tell you my story of how to live in alignment. When you're in the presence of a projector who's living in alignment, their aura is so magnetic that you will find yourself giving them an invitation. If you recognize this person, if you see this person, you will not be able to help yourself. It's just their aura is very, very magnetic. I know this, my son is a projector, as I said. It's just such a magnetizing aura. So you just want to be with this person and you want to invite them into your world. When a projector is out of alignment, they get very bitter. When they're bitter, their aura is very repelling, and it makes the situation worse because they end up in this vicious cycle where they want to deeply be recognized and seen, but they're bitter, so their aura is like super, super, super repelling. And I have been there too, where my aura was like so repelling to people and I could not understand it. I was so deeply confused why I was so unseen. I shared this whole story in the my Divine Feminine Human Design Awakening, which is linked in the description box, so you can watch the rest of that there. How did I find alignment then? Okay, without knowing anything about human design or their process, which I think I don't think I would have been able to follow their exact process, because some of it means that I have to not be able, I can't sleep with my husband. I have to, like, you know, a lot of projectors think that you're not allowed to have kids, you can't be in a relationship. I've seen these forums where there's a lot of basic babe projectors kind of like crying about this stuff. This is not true. I am in a very, very happy, healthy, my husband is my best friend. I'm married to a very conscious man who adores me, sees me, recognizes me, and I have 3 kids. So I'm going to talk about so these are the categories that I will talk about how to fall in alignment: life, relationships, parenting, business, wealth, and friends. If there's anything I missed, you can leave it in the chat and I will try to address it. Okay. How did I find alignment without knowing human design? inner work, inner work, inner work. And the foundation of the inner work was law of attraction, because when I found the law of attraction, it kept helping me take me back to my vibration. And so this helped me, without even knowing deconditioning or human design, keep coming back to myself. Like, how does this make me feel? How does this make me feel? How does this make me feel? So law of attraction was the foundation of that. And then inner work, every single thing that I've been teaching you here in my over 1,400 free videos here on YouTube has been inner work. So my life, here's my life philosophy that I learned through my inner work, okay? That most things that I think from my brain are completely not me. They're not me, because the brain is not me. My thoughts are not me. These are things that have been programmed for survival through my environment. And I've talked about this in my High Value Worthy Woman Ascension program, that are the way human babies are. We aren't sent onto this planet with a lot of instincts as other species are. We pick up a lot of that from our environment. So that's conditioning. So my brain is not a reliable decision-making mechanism, regardless of your type. Human design says that we outgrew our brains in about 1700s. In fact, our energetic systems changed. Our 7 chakras split into 9 energetic centers. And so the brain is now this backseat passenger that's just observing. It's not making decisions. Your authority is where you're making decisions from. So in my life, here's my overall arching life goal, that I'm going to do things according to my unique design and my unique vibration. Okay? Human design is just one aspect of that. I'm not going to zoom in too much into that either. Here's why. All religion, you can repeat after me, all religion, all spirituality, all books, all designs of any learning systems are designed to enhance the human experience. All religion, all spirituality, all laws, all rules, all books, all systems, all processes are designed to improve the human experience, to dignify and improve the human experience. So if I find something in human design that is not dignifying my experience, it is not for me. If I find something in religion that's not dignifying the human experience for me, that religion is not for me, or that concept is not for me. Same for spirituality, same for books. It is okay to say, interesting, that's not for me. Okay? So we don't have to get so zoomed in and stuck on any one thing. Life lesson also for me, and this is how I live my life. Don't advise unless invited. I am not for everyone, and that is okay. I am not for everyone, and that is okay. I am not for everyone. Not everyone's going to get me. I am designed by God, by the divine, to be a guide for those people that recognize me and invite me, and then I get to decide. This is why I don't spend money on ads in my business. I'll talk about business later on, but you have the choice to click on my videos to watch it, and then you have the choice to click out. Like, that's how I live my life. If a friend invites me to lunch and she's telling me her thing, I listen. I will not advise unless there is a clear invitation and an exchange of energy. Learn this the hard way. Never, ever, ever again will I do that. So that's kind of my life, okay? Relationship. In my relationship, I am the feminine, divine feminine embodiment. I'm luckily married to a very conscious masculine energy man that knows that without an invitation and without my clear yes and no, nothing will move forward. I will not initiate anything with him. He has to clearly invite me, and it is okay for me to say no. This we've learned the hard way in our relationship, but my husband and I are best friends. We love spending every minute with each other. We've also learned the hard way that that doesn't really work. Because if we spend all of our time together, I start to energetically get really burnt out, and then I start getting bitter, and then he takes that personally. So we've been through these cycles in our relationship. So over time, even before finding human design, by the way, he's a generator, and So I have a manifester child, a generator child, a projector child. I'm a projector, my husband's a generator. We have learned that I need alone time to recoup. So this is my office. And this is my nap bed. This is where I nap in the middle of the day, really just get in touch with my energy and just allow myself to just get in touch with what's me and what has been taken from my open centers and magnified, right? So I have noticed that when I'm with my daughter, who's a generator, or with my husband, I tend to be more energetic because I'm taking their generator energy and amplifying it. But if I keep doing that, I get burnt out. So I need to pull away a couple times a day, come in here, lay down, close my eyes, pray to God, and just know who am I and who is my husband and who is my child, so that I'm not picking up on that and magnifying it and then burning myself out. So relationships, I hope that was clear. Parenting, let's talk about parenting now. Projector parenting. So I'm a projector parent and I also have a projector child. I parent all three of my kids very differently depending on not only their human design, but also depending on their numerology and their astrology, like all of that. We parent, each child is individual and they're allowed to be who they innately are. And so there isn't a lot of poking and squeezing and manipulating or trying to do things like that. So I follow my own unique parenting blueprint. Projectors, just by design, do not have the same level of sacral energy to parent the way the generators do or other types do. We're not going to be the parents that cooks a huge, has a huge baking frenzy and then spends 9 hours in the PTA and then comes home and then takes you to the park. We just don't have the energy for that. And my middle son won't be able to keep up with that either. So I parent based on my unique blueprint that I have discovered and evolved over the last 15 years of me, almost 16. My oldest one will be 16 this year. So it's an evolution of conscious parenting, which that concept you can learn from Dr. Shefali. I've linked her book in my Amazon store. That's one of the blueprints that I follow, conscious parenting. And also just knowing that my children don't need a template type parenting. They just need me. They don't need a mom. They need Mina, right? My unique ability to guide them is exactly what they need. And that is okay. So a lot of the more energy involving things when it comes to parenting, my husband takes care of, as he is a generator. And I'm more the feminine embodiment, leaned back parent guide. Okay. Hi, manifesting generator. Hi, Sana. Welcome in. So parenting is done that way. And I'm going to do all types. Don't worry. I just wanted to start off with the projector, as I'm a projector. It's the easiest one for me to dive into in detail. Business. Oh my goodness. Okay. So my business was something that I was invited into by you guys, right? You guys, my followers, told me to become a life coach, told me to make programs. So you guys invited me and I said, oh, that sounds good. Yes, I think I'll say yes to this. So my entire business is highly aligned with the projector business. I don't do ads. I don't do cold leads. I don't do cold calling. I don't private message people. I don't invite people into my groups. I just do my thing, the thing that I enjoy doing, which is making YouTube videos and just being in my bliss and living my life my way. And then people invite themselves, like they send me the invitations. They say, hey, Mina, can I join your da-da-da-da-da program? Mina, can you please send me the link for blah, blah, blah program? Or Mina, are you taking any private coaching clients right now? May I please learn more? That's the invitation. And then I decide if it's a yes or a no. Does that make sense? I don't chase clients. I don't chase jobs. I don't do any of that. It just doesn't work for the projector. We can get really drained and burned out and feel really, really rejected doing it that way. So that same way that I'm doing my relationship, where my husband invites me, he, like when I'm working, like he'll, knock on the door, babe, will you come have coffee with me? Babe, I made you keto pound cake. Come have pound cake with me outside. There's a lot of invitations from him to have my energy, and that's what works best for the projector. Wealth. So without even knowing anything like this, you guys know that I have been obsessed with, for most of my life, with having passive income. when I discovered in my early 20s that I was not designed for the corporate world at all, that I just intuitively knew that I needed passive income. I have multiple streams of passive income. I have some where they're not so passive, but I have a lot more passive income streams that I have actual like working income streams, because that's just what works best for the projector. So if you're a projector, learn to become financially literate, because if you're not financially literate, then a lot of projectors end up being broke and burnt out and even end up homeless sometimes, because they can't work the same type of jobs that most of our society is used to working, long hours, hustling, overtime, corporate environment. We just can't do it. And so they by the time they're 35, they're so burnt out from living in not alignment that they end up being sick or autoimmune things or just a lot of issues. So if you're any age, you're going to have to learn to be financially literate, and you're going to have to use your income wisely. You guys remember in my financial videos, I always talk about the money that you earn through your work. Do not spend that money, invest that money, spend the money that money then brings in, right? So I spend the babies of the money that I earn. And this has been the key. Of course, this takes longer to set up. I totally get it. But here's what I want you to know. When you're living in alignment, success just flows to you. It really does. You're going to have intense faith in this, that you are, I think that it is so much easier for a projector to be a multimillionaire as long as they're living in alignment. We have to wait for those key invitations. And also because the energy and the preciousness of the projector aura is so potent, that it can really guide manifestors, manifesting generators, like reflectors, everyone. Like we can really, and other projectors really guide them. We can do in 1 hour what most people would take maybe weeks or months to do as far as guiding someone's energy. We need to charge accordingly. Make yourself expensive, allow yourself to be potent, because you are potent. Your aura has been designed for that. So if you are waiting for those certain invitations, you're going to be expensive. You can't be someone that's charging pennies and then leaking energy in all areas and then getting really burnt out. You need to be the queen on the throne, the high priestess on the throne, the high priestess that everyone comes to, that's the right person for you, that recognizes for you, asks for advice and invites you, and then you can give them, but you need to charge for that. You need to really charge for that, okay? So there's the wealth one. Friends. I just intuitively knew that I'd never had the energy for a lot of friends. I've just not been a person that had a lot of friends. I've always been the person that had a few key friends. When it gets icky for me, a friendship where I'm not being recognized, my time is kind of being neglected or abused, or I'm just in a weird vibrational frequency in my friendship, I tend to just end those friendships. They just don't work for me. So at this point in my life, as I approach 40 in the next few months, I have I can count on one hand a few friends. They are my advisors, my guides, and those are the people that I hang out with. So as a projector, you're not gonna have a lot of energy for tons and tons of friends, so choose wisely, okay? So how do you speed up the inner work deconditioning process? You can do it the way human design says, which is you spend 7 years by yourself, sleeping alone, deconditioning yourself, or you can involve actual inner work. And so I've linked 2 of my most potent inner work programs, the beginner level High Value Worthy Woman Ascension program. Don't, just because I'm calling it beginner level, know that it's highly potent. I've infused all of my projector energy and being able to be, I'm also very open in all of my centers. So I'm very empathic, very psychic. I'm able to guide and read energy really, really deeply. And so you can join the High Value Worthy Woman Ascension. And after that, I recommend doing the Sacred Feminine Advanced Spiritual Intensive. That will really decondition you in 3 to 6 months, because it's put every single, it's like attacking that conditioning from every angle that you can imagine. Really, really getting it from everywhere. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're helping that process along and not just sitting quietly for 7 years. You could do that. Human design lays it out that way, but you could also be an active participant in your deconditioning, right? This is where we are using all of our energetic systems wisely and knowing what's not me, what's me, and how can I really, really align everything. So those 2 programs are linked in the description box, and you can really up level and start your journey. If you already have those programs, do them a second time, do them a third time, and you'll notice that you'll get deeper and deeper layers. This is how I was able to live in complete projector alignment. If I decided that, you know what, I don't want to work anymore, I'm not going to make another YouTube video, I'm not going to work, I still have enough passive income and investment income and dividend income coming in to never, ever, ever, ever have to work another day in my life. And this was set up because I knew that energetically, I just didn't have the type of energy that other people have. And so whether you're a manifesting generator, a generator, whoever you are, you're going to have to decondition from who you are versus who you think you are because of all of that conditioning, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and this makes me want to be so aligned and step into my power. Amazing, Amanda. Amanda, you're also a projector, right? Lovely. Hey, Snoop Dollar said, "Sub goddess, you know I came through every now and then to support you. Thank you so much." Disha said, "Projector 2-5 here. I wouldn't have known human design if it wasn't without you. I love you." I love you too, babes. And actually is in my design that I will be bringing human design to the largest audience that it's ever seen. So that is a great honor to me, and I'm just super, super excited to be leading everyone on this journey. But you do not have to be a passive participant. You can definitely start your journey yourself. You have control. Please do not think that you have to you know, I've seen forums where projectors are victimizing themselves so much, and it's like, no, babe, you're the goddess, you're the queen. This is not to take and victimize yourself. This is not a place where you say, oh, now I can't be in a relationship, or I can't do this, or I'm not allowed to have kids. I saw posts from people saying that they wanted to have kids, but they can't have kids now because they're a projector. This is not true. You can absolutely have children, but you're going to have to tune out how other people say that you're gonna parent, and you're gonna have to learn to parent your way. And at the end of the day, this is what I've learned. Again, my kids don't care if I'm the perfect mom. Me being Mina is the perfect mom for them. They just want Mina. They don't want mom. They don't want some weird society's version of mom. They just want me. Me and my raw, honest realness is exactly what my kids want. And so this is how I've learned to just allow myself to be, right? Who I naturally am. How would you find new friends as a projector is a clear invitation needed as well. So how I did it, Wonderfully Made, was that I made a clear intention to God saying, God, I'm so ready for more soul aligned and you know, made for me friendships. And then I wrote down a love list. I wrote down a friend love list. I wrote down all the qualities that I desire in my ideal friend. And then when I was done writing that down, I said, okay, am I the reciprocal of these qualities? Reciprocal means that are you on the receiving end of those qualities? So if I wrote down that I wanted someone that was really evolved and able to have honest conversations, okay? So then the reciprocal of that would be, am I in integrity and really able to hear the truth, or do I get triggered when people point out the truth to me, right? So that's the reciprocal. And so I became the reciprocal, and within a couple of weeks, those right people ended up coming into my life. And within the next few weeks, a couple friends that were kind of like, you know, it wasn't really going so great. Either they fell away, I call that the deselection process, or they up-leveled themselves to meet my love list, my friend love list. So that's exactly what ended up happening for me. So I'm sure I will take your beginner program. I'm so excited. I'm a projector. So now would be a great time to sign up. Here's why. I'm doing it's a recorded digital program, but I'm adding a new 2-hour lesson in there, incorporating human design to that inner work and really like marrying everything together for all types, by the way, not just for projectors. So if you want to be in that live class, then you definitely want to be in the High Value Worthy Woman Ascension program. And so sign up for that. It's in the link. 6'2", my husband is also a 6'2" profile. I hope Wonderfully Made that answered your question about friendships. Ladies, I have a live relationship class in about an hour, group coaching, so I need to like rest and lay down and nap and get my energy aligned after this live stream. Again, I'm living in complete projector alignment, so I'm going to let you guys go now, but thank you so much for watching this and hanging out with me. And on Wednesday or Thursday, I'm going to be doing another live stream on how to marry law of attraction and human design depending on your type. So I'm super excited about this. I love you guys so much. Go live your design, go live your alignment, and I'll see you in the next one.